O Show. This is the Big 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 O Show. This is
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Oh, great. You got a doorbell camera. Now you got a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
No.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Get out of my house!
Ooh, Mom's jewelry. There goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, a free doorbell camera.
Free?
One that'll actually work for you. It's not total security unless it's the Sloman Shield. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List. For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O. Comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. Welcome aboard.
How you doing, brother?
Let's see. Friday, I'm driving to Orlando to go see Dirty Honey. Phone call. The wife says, "Yeah, you know that stomach ache I had? Well, it's an exploding ulcer."
Holy cow!
Well, I'm already like a third of the way to Orlando. She was going to go, but she didn't feel well. So then, I head. So I got to race back, right? And thank you to Baptist Health, who is a proud sponsor of our show. She's at Baptist Health right now. She'll have her operation on Monday. So she was like the exorcist, spitting out blood, all that. So I've been in the hospital the entire time. I just got out because my daughter went, kind of relieved me, So I came home, watched the game. And so I'm scrambling, trying to put this whole show together and all that. You're telling me now. And I'm like, oh, no.
I know, man. I apologize.
So, I just want you to know, it's like there's a lot of shit going on with me, right? And I'm running it all by myself because Sean isn't here, So it's and if you guys, can you tell the lead up into the show how like effed up it was? And I was opening up the cameras, Manny knows, and it was like there was a frozen still picture. And I'm like, where am I? And I had to go then reset the camera. And it just, whatever could happen has happened, but we're blessed. Everything is fine. But damn. All right. Well, so they eked one out, dude. And look, in the end, that's all you want to do. You want to win. But it's I think we walk away with the TBD concerns now. Yeah. Is it injury? Is it confidence? Is it both? What is going on with Tyler Van Dyke, I think?
It's Great question. I really don't have an answer for you. I think, certainly I talked about it right after the North Carolina game that he got hit really, really hard in that game. Got hit in the knee, in his right knee. Obviously, today we saw him with the brace on the right knee during the game. I know that he obviously got hit in the ribs as well. He doesn't look to me like a guy who is anywhere near 100%. And look, a lot of quarterbacks aren't. A lot of guys play bad. But think about Joe Burrow earlier this year, right? We know Joe Burrow to be one of the best NFL passers, but he was clearly playing injured. I think today we saw Tyler Van Dyke clearly playing injured and nowhere close to 100%. So to me, that's what I'm going to chalk it up to. And I'm going to say he's still the best quarterback on this team. And I don't know that Miami wins today, even with Emory Williams at quarterback.
Well, see, the problem is you don't know. It's the unanswered question. You know what I'm saying? So if you go to him, does he implode on you and it's over, or does he become a phenom? And then so it's kind of, do you put him in that position too? You know what I mean? We've seen Kozar, we've seen Ken Dorsey, we've seen a couple of young guys that have been put in that position and have succeeded. Yes, I'm old. Yes, I watch Kozar. Yes, and so but I'm just saying it's happened in the past, but it's a rolling of the dice because you just don't know how the young guy's going to hold up, and then all of a sudden he's Frank Costa, and it's just struggling out there.
Yeah, listen, and it's a roll of the dice to go with an injured starting quarterback anyway, right? And clearly TVD is not 100%, and so Mario made a decision, and he ultimately went with the older guy because that's who makes him feel most comfortable. But I know this, they got the win, and ultimately, that's the hardest thing to do these days, unless you're Georgia, which I just saw them completely dismantle Florida here. To me, unless you're an elite program, the Michigan of these worlds, you're going to fight on a lot of Saturdays for wins, and that's what the season has been for the most part for Miami. It really hasn't been that easy since they got back from Temple.
Yeah, no, and listen, in the end, that first interception from Tyler Van Dyke, that's the one to me that his injury showed, because it looked to me like a player that said, "Okay, I
can't get it there."
Much on that throw, and it gets there, and it didn't get there, and I think that was, there was another, the other interceptions, the guys weren't open. Those were bad. The other interception was a bad interception. I think, and he almost threw. He really should have thrown a third one. They just dropped it.
Yeah. This is why you got to win like a team, right? And this is why you have a running game, why you have an offensive line. This is why you have a kicker. Some days you need those guys to come through, and that's what they needed today. They needed guys like Mark Fletcher, who just came back from the injured list, to run the ball as hard as he did there in overtime. They needed an A.J. Allen to show some of that athleticism,
nice.
hurling over guys. Look, in the end, it wasn't the greatest game plan either, I think. Like you said, taking those shots down the field, I think they would have been better suited by not doing that and maybe limiting, sort of the shots down the field. But look, they won the game. And like I said, sometimes you win ugly. This is better, certainly, than the feeling that they had against Georgia Tech, where you really knew they shit the bed in that game.
Well, no, they found a way to win the game at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Virginia just beat North Carolina, so we all know it's not an easy nut to crack. And in the end, you went with what your strength is to close out the game.
Yep.
At that point, that's what you had to depend on. I don't blame you.
Absolutely. And look, the offensive line, I think, did their job for the most part. I know Virginia got to Van Dyke a couple of times, but when they needed to run the ball in the important moments late in the game, they were able to do that. They were able to give Tyler some time. And he was able to find guys when they needed the field goal to sort of match it. And the defense, to me, the defense is really the story here because 6 sacks today. Our boy Ruben Bain had 2 of them. Those guys are making plays, and when they need stops, they're coming through. And look, I know Virginia's not an elite offense, but they just beat North Carolina. So you got to give them some credit and say that Tony Elliott's team has some guys that can make plays. I don't think their quarterback is that bad. The Musket kid, he makes plays with his legs, and those running backs are pretty good. So I know in the end we're going to say, oh man, 2-6 Virginia, you shouldn't struggle against guys like that. But I think you and I and everybody else who follow the ACC know a little bit better.
Oh, can we be honest? Virginia's better coached than Miami.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, you could certainly say that. To be able to squeeze what they can out of that team with far less talent, you got to give them credit.
Yeah, I mean, they beat North Carolina, a team Miami couldn't beat with an elite quarterback in college football. They beat them. So for me, one of my problems that I tweeted out during the thing is, for 1 week, I'd like to look at Mario and say that's the better staff on the field. And I see a recruiter that's going to have to just win on talent.
And look, let's face it, the guys who made a lot of the plays today, Mark Fletcher, Ruben Bain, those are guys he brought in, right? I mean, it's you got to trust the process. The more guys that he stacks like that in the next couple of classes, you're going to be able to win games just on talent alone. And you know what? You couldn't really say that the last few years. You really couldn't. You know, no. you needed to out scheme teams, and even then they weren't out scheming teams, which is why a guy like Mario's here, because if you're going to have any shot of climbing the elite ladder, at some point or another, you know, coaching's going to matter, but you got to start with talent. And at least the talent that Mario's brought in is actually doing something.
They won already, so they did the right thing. But
yep.
What did you think with the 30 seconds left and 3 timeouts that they capitulated and took the knee? What did you think?
Had no problem. You're at your own 20-yard line, and Tyler is beat up and not throwing the ball well. So to me, I can agree with a lot more than I could a week ago when you're at the 40-yard line and the freshman has already thrown a couple of successful deep passes and you haven't given up a sack. Your offensive line is playing great. So to me, I would have liked to have seen them take a shot down the field in that game. But this one, I completely understand why you didn't. You're at your own 20. You don't want to make a mistake. You fought hard to get back in the game, and your quarterback is messed up. So don't do it.
Yeah, and be prepared, Canes fans. That may be the habitual decision.
100%.
No matter who's the quarterback, no matter how hot they are, how cold they are, how young they are, how old they are, how tall they are, how short they are, it don't matter.
100%.
That might be the decision 99 out of 100 times.
1,000%. Oh, 1,000%.
So, you know. All right, what do you got going on in the athletics so folks can check you out?
Well, man, listen, I'm up here in Jacksonville, obviously covering the Florida-Georgia game, so I'll be writing off of this today. And, you know, for Miami fans who say, oh, screw the Gators, I don't care about them, I will tell you the Gators are on the schedule next year, right? So, you know, it's important for me to get a look at these guys, and I saw them against the best team in college football in Georgia. So, to me, I got a good gauge of really where their talent is and how far they have to go. So, I'll be writing about them for tomorrow, but I will have plenty of Canes coverage in the days ahead. I will be writing a follow-up off of this game today against Virginia, probably for Monday or Tuesday. So, and then, of course, the podcast, the Wide Right Podcast, I'll have more stuff coming up there as I review the game. So if you want Canes coverage, it will be there. Today, though, I had a special assignment, so I'm up here for that.
Good stuff as always. Manny, appreciate you, my brother. We'll catch up during the week.
All right, brother. Take care. See ya.
Yes, sir. There you go. Manny tomorrow, as always, getting it done for us. All right, let me... Again, you gotta hang in there with me because you know I'm kind of like working on a solo, and there's a lot of shit on my mind. Anyway, so Miami improves to 6-2. I'll tell you this, and I'm gonna be a consistent mofo on this. If you watch the platform, if you check out the show often. I talk about this all the time. When we talked about this when Mario made the boneheaded decision against Georgia Tech, and a lot of people, oh, that's the worst decision in Canes history. And I said, no, it's not. It's actually Jimmy Johnson allowing Vinny Testaverde to continue to throw against Penn State. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 interceptions, and you barely lost the game, okay? You could have easily won that game if you just handed off to Alonzo Highsmith, right? I'm going to stay consistent. I don't think Mario Cristobal and his staff – no, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. So far, Mario Cristobal and his staffs, last year's staff and this year's staff, have yet to impress me as a coaching staff. X's and O's, okay? I've seen Don Shula. I've watched Howard Schnellenberger. I watch Spoelstra. I watch Mike McDaniel. I watch Larinaga. You know, I know when there's a difference maker. Ron Frazier. I've seen those men and women like Katie Meyer, like oh God, I can't believe I am disrespecting her. And she was a Fern Labate, okay, who did a hell of a job there at the University. You know, you see difference makers, and I've been around this town for half a century watching all this shit. And so I know when Ray Hudson takes the pitch for the Miami Fusion and the difference between him and Hamilton than what was there before, and they take off. You know what I mean? And so you see people that are difference makers in life. And I'm not saying that Mario Cristobal is one of those. He has yet to impress me as a X's and O's guy at all. But today, Mario Cristobal made the best decision he has made so far in a Hurricanes uniform, in a Hurricanes sideline or T-shirt, polo, whatever the hell he's wearing, mini little jersey, okay? With 27 seconds, 29 seconds, and 3 timeouts, your turnover-prone quarterback that should have 3 interceptions, not 2, he's either injured, lack of confidence, or both, whatever it is. The best chance you had was defense and running. So you didn't have enough time to run all the way down the field from your side of the field, right? So take the knee and go to overtime and take your chances that your defense will limit them to a touchdown, and you got a short field to work, and the best part of your team is your offensive line and your running game. And sure enough, and you ended up scoring a touchdown and you won. And instead of giving it to Vinny Testaverde, Tyler Van Dyke, like Jimmy Johnson did against the Fiesta Bowl, in the Fiesta Bowl, Mario Cristobal made the right decision. He took the ball out of Vinny Testaverde's hands. He said, no, dude, you're turnover prone right now. You're going to F up my game. Let's go with what I know, offensive line and running game. And so, if any of you were actually challenging that decision, okay, at that moment, that was what was going on. If you had a badass quarterback and you had an offense that was clicking and all that kind of stuff, then, you got your 3 timeouts. You can gunsling it a little bit. But that was the best decision. Now, it's a habitual decision for Mario Cristobal. Because his conservative ways, this is what's going to be the norm. He's going to take those knees all the time. He's not going to take chances. And that's the sad part. I'm glad they won, but Mario Cristobal is Dave Wannstedt. He's the Cuban Dave Wannstedt. Let's run. Let's play conservative. Punting is our friend. Field goals are all right. Let's, stay conservative. All that. He is cut from the same cloth. What you see with Mike McDaniel, what you see out in USC, no, dude, you're not going to see that here. You're not going to see it. And Dave Wannstedt could have Norv Turner, and Norv Turner had passing games and offenses that were pretty damn good, like with the Chargers and Dallas and all, and he could open it up. And when he came here, I know the stories in the headsets. By the time they were crossing the 40-yard line, listen to me, this is truth, okay? The Dolphin coaches could hear Dave Wannstedt say, fellas, we're in field goal range. Let's be careful with the football. So your head coach is already pressuring you to be conservative. And that's the one thing that I fear from Mario Cristobal, as I've said, phenomenal human being, tremendo hombre. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is a man's man, right? He is character, whatever wall you have of concrete, Mario Cristobal is as strong as that wall as a man. Okay, the character is second to none. We all know that. The work ethic, second to none. The recruiting, second to none. The guys, you're not going to outwork him. He's constantly, he's on the Cuban cocaine, Cuban cafe, and so that thing's got him going 24 hours a day. Nobody needed cocaine in this world. Just take Cuban coffee, bro. That's the same shit right there. So we know all his traits. I on game day, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see him like what McDaniel does for his players, like what Spoelstra does for his players. I don't see it like Skip Schumacher did for his players this year. By the way, he showed me a little some as a difference maker. A little early to call him full-fledged that, but he got a lot out of those young guys because it'll be a miracle for him to get to the playoffs again with the same bunch, to be quite honest. It'll be a miracle. He's doing some Spo stuff doing that. And that's where, he's going to have to recruit and win on talent. You know what it reminds me of? Barry Switzer, Oklahoma. Some of you aren't old enough for that. But those of you that are old enough, you know what I'm talking about. Barry Switzer wasn't an X's and O's guy. Oklahoma was loaded. And, he had some success when they were just better than you. But he wasn't really a difference maker as a coach. He was just a recruiter, a rah-rah guy, a great salesman. That's it. That's what he was. It reminds me a lot of Pat Kennedy, basketball coach for FSU. Phenomenal recruiter. One of the better recruiters FSU's ever had. I think he was a mediocre X's and O's guy, but he had success because he had a whole bunch of guys. Sometimes, and this has happened to me over the years. I see guys that, they have a world of talent and that's why they're having success, but they never put them, like Del Harris will have a lot of talent, but he can't get them over the hump. And then here comes Phil Jackson, who knows how to handle all the egos and then knows how to tweak it to get them over the hump because there is a gift to it, and that's where I worry about Mario Cristobal down the line, that if you do build up the teams and then you're in these big games against coaches that are difference makers, can Mario hang with them, or is he going to simply depend on Cam Kitchens getting a pick six for you, or somebody making some kind of Williams, or somebody making some kind of a Marigoa, making some kind of a play out of nowhere, but not because it was all schemed up. And sadly, that's where I'm at with that when it comes to, Mario Cristobal. So there you go. Let me get through the super chats here because several have come in, and thank you very much. Appreciate it. Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Let me go first with my man. He loves his Canes. Ken Helm is always hardcore. Let me see. Ken says, OT wins giving me ulcers. Fletcher and Bain, awesome. Yeah, well, if you want an ulcer, talk to my wife. She's sitting in the hospital right now with a bleeding ulcer. That was a perfect term to use today on the show, Ken. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Yeah. I've had a wacky 24 hours. I'm telling you. EJ Barro. Oh, I want to know what you're thinking. Information Society. I want to know what you're thinking. Tell me what's on your mind. True Fin fan, thank you, sir. Remember, tomorrow we're at Walk-Ons in Kendall, starting off at 11 a.m. All right? Right after the show, I'm off to Baptist Health to go. I may do the show on Monday from Baptist Health. I might do it from my wife's room. I might do that. That's, I do shows from everywhere. I've done it from a driving car. I do it from dolphin bars all over the country, right? So why not do it from my wife's hospital room? at Baptist Health. I think I might do that. True Fin Fan, thank you for the love in the super chat. The Miami tropical storm is strengthening. I don't know, man. It was one of those that we're just happy to get the win today. Happy to get the win. I'll tell you that. True Fin Fan, I'm still going to use Mario for his recruiting. I'm sticking with Mario. I don't want to necessarily get rid of Mario or anything, but I love Mario. I like all the characteristics of Mario, but I'm not a bullshitter, dude. I'm going to call things like I see it here. And on game day, dude, I can't tell you that I'm super impressed with Mario. I'm not impressed at all with Mario Cristobal on game day. And so that's all I can say. Alexander, not messing with you today. Speedy recovery to the wife. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. Remember, you guys can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. You can send your comments, your insults, your compliments there. And you can make a Bitcoin donation, which, I love Bitcoin donations. EJ Barro says head coach applications are being accepted. He's not going anywhere, my brother. He's not going anywhere. They have a huge investment. The record is, what is it, 6-2, right? Is it? All right, let me make sure. 6-2, right? Brother, halftime, what was it, like 55 yards rushing, 44 yards passing or something? Yeah, 6-2, So, yeah, I know, and they should be 7-1 if it wasn't for an absolutely boneheaded mistake. You know what I'm saying? Tyler Van Dyke was 20 of 30 for 163 yards, 2 interceptions. A.J. Allen on that drive, and then obviously he put an exclamation point with that touchdown. Man, that was a beautiful touchdown. That was like, it was like a friend sent me a text that said, what's it called? I feel like I've been stolen an afternoon, like they've taken an afternoon from me because it was a brutal game to watch. But I will say this, the A.J. Allen thing was like, whoa, that was nice. That was nice. That gave me like some serious entertainment. Mark Fletcher, obviously, at the end with that tough-ass touchdown of his. You got to love it. Overall, Restrepo was the leading receiver, 3 for 48. Kobe Young, 3 for 35. And Jacoby George, 5 for 28. Just unimpressive, the passing game overall. Unimpressive, the offense. It's really about running the ball, and they only got 113 yards today on the ground. Virginia had 138 overall. And the musket man, the rifle man, went 24 of 38 for 239, and he threw an interception, no touchdowns in that game. The time of possession, dude, Virginia dominated 34-36 to 25-24. Third down efficiencies, Miami sucked. They were 5 of 13. And Virginia was dominant, 8 of 19. 377 total yards for Virginia, 276 for Miami. Passing 239 for Virginia, 163 for the University of Miami. Rushing 138 for Virginia, 113 for Miami. Turnovers 2 for Miami, 1 for Virginia. Just there's all you look at it and it just 5.4 yards per play for Miami, 6.3 for Virginia. They just got outplayed. And then the decision at the end was the best decision that Mario Cristobal has made in his short career as a head coach. Ken Helm, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Sorry, Big O came in late. Hope wife gets better. It's all good, Ken, man. I appreciate it. It's I know you guys don't mean anything bad. I'm just glad that it's controlled, and she'll get the procedure on Monday, and so hopefully everything will be smooth on Monday. So it won't be a fun day for me on Monday doing the show, because obviously I have to deal with my wife also having an operation that day. So, but I think I am going to maybe do it from the hospital just to kind of go with it. Does Mario need to find better coordinators? No, Troy, I just told you what Dave Wan said story, right? It didn't matter the coordinators he had. Okay? It just didn't matter. If you're going to play under a conservative coach, you will be conservative. That's just the way it goes, my brother. So I don't care who actually – isn't this guy an air raid guy anyways? That's not conservative by any stretch. You know what I'm saying? Mario is Mario, dude. And that's just, I think, the real issue with it in the end. It's what's in his heart. He's as I told somebody today, you know what Mario Cristobal reminds me of? Mike Munchak coaching the Tennessee Titans. I doubt we have a Titans fan that's watching the show right now. I doubt there's a Titans/Canes fan that's watching the show. That would be pretty funny, by the way, if somebody's watching this show that's actually a Canes-Titans fan. But if there's a Titans fan, because I doubt most people, you probably don't watch the whole NFL and kind of really pay attention to the different scenarios going on. But Munchak was a notorious conservative guy. That offense never got off the ground with him because in the end, he was going to depend on what he knows most, which was running game and offensive line play and all that. And the passing game was never going to take off because he was never going to have the balls to unleash it. You understand? And Titans fans were like very frustrated with Mike Munchak as time went on. And it was just one of those. And Mario, being a great lineman himself in the college level, like Munchak was at the NFL level, and the way they think, it just reminds me of that. And it doesn't matter who coaches under him, he's going to control the situation in the end and say, no, let's stay more conservative here on this. And then sometimes your coach will coach more conservative because he knows the guy he's coaching under. And that's where, I think it's going to be a problem, my brother. So we'll see. You know what? Maybe Mario grows and understands that you've got to open it up, in this game. Maybe he does. I don't know. We're gonna find out if how much Mario grows as a coach overall. Let's see. I see True Finn fan all the way. Let me see. Actually, it wasn't True Finn fan that was always like to give credit. Was it? Let me see. Was it? Yes, True Finn fan, number 1 in. And then Jonathan Jensen. I got it. Troy Ortiz. There we go. Thank you all out there. Chiming in as always. Appreciate it. Sharon Calderon, which is Jeff from Long Island, says I'm here with you, Orlando, every time the Canes Heat are big favorites. Bet on the other team. Yeah. Almost today, right? Today was a push, because you could take them as a dog sometimes. But yeah, it's 2 for 2, right? Didn't I told you guys I think what Jeff is talking about is I told everybody this weekend, and I'm making you some money again, by the way. I told you to take Detroit Pistons plus the 9 because the Heat are nobody to give 9 points. Sure enough, you won. I told you take Virginia plus 19 because the Miami Hurricanes are no one to give 19 points to anyone in the ACC. And I told you to take the Patriots. I expect them all to win. And so far, the Heat won. Obviously, the Canes won. I expect the Dolphins to win tomorrow. But I think they're going to win by 4, 5, 6 points, something like that. The 9.5 or 10. If you got it early on Monday, if you got it at 10.5, good for you. And so even there's one of our listeners said he made a parlay on all 3. So far, he's 2 for 3 on that parlay. And I think the Patriots will keep it close. I don't think the Dolphins are going to blow out. As much as I would love to watch Belichick get embarrassed as much as possible, I think Miami, I think the Patriots will keep it close. So that's what Jeff is talking about. That was the trifecta that I gave out this weekend. I said, you got to go with the dogs. And so far, dogs are 2-0, and I expect dogs to go 3-0. And that guy, I wonder how much he's going to get paid for that parlay. That's a pretty good parlay, dude. That's not bad. I didn't even bet the parlay. So But anyway, there you go. TVD was terrible today. Staring down wide receivers, and he can't read the field at all. Throwing into double coverages too many times in ACC plays. Shout out to the kicker and the defense for not quitting. Yeah. I'm getting some Mario sucks. TVD is trash. Tyler is hurt. Finger and knee. We know UVA beat UNC. Big ups to Borgalis. Yes, he does. He came in clutch. You definitely needed him. Bye-bye Bosworth says just 8 wins, and I will be happy. Tell Oklahoma if they would take ugly wins. Hard to argue with that. That's what I say. They're 6-2. They should be 7-1 because of a boneheaded mistake. I get it, man. It's not, the talent is much better than last year's, but yet the performance isn't. I totally understand. We could be talking about a team with a few more losses, actually. I totally understand what everybody's talking about. You know what I mean? But in the end, they won. So they were on the winning side. And they're 6-2. They're going to be better than last year already. So it's improvement in that sense. Do we need to see Mario improve as an X's and O's guy? He's lucky that he's not really in an elite company right now, where he's in those kind of games that you can get thoroughly embarrassed. All right. He's playing against teams that are lesser talented than him. And that's where it makes him look bad. And I understand, man. This is not a sexy win that we can all feel really good about. It hasn't been a sexy season that we can lie to ourselves. Hey, we're 6-2 and all that. And probably do what they're going to do on the flagship station, because they have to kind of do that. But in a way, Big O Mario at this point is not going to grow or learn, in my opinion. Jayhawk, dude, hard to argue that. He's probably set in his ways. You are probably 100% right, but in the end, okay, we're going to go down a cynical path now. Okay? We're going to go down a real cynical path, and this is next level corporate thinking from administration now. Okay? This is the kind of stuff that you're never going to hear right now locally, or anybody's going to write about it right now, because it'd be too cold and callous to do it. But I'll talk about it because I'm never afraid to talk about what's out there. So you're the administration, and you're committed several years to this guy already. Okay. So, but he is recruiting guys, and he's getting them to commit. They're not decommitting. They're loading up, and the 6-2 record helps, doesn't hurt. Okay. It helps. All right. The way it's spun is, hey, we beat the team that beat North Carolina. So it shows that, hey, we were in a tough moment down the stretch a couple weeks in a row, and we won it, and we eked it out against Clemson, yada, 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 all that selling stuff, right? But if you're in the administration, listen to me now. Now we're going to go to the business side of all of this. Now we're going to go, okay, so we're committed to this guy. Let's see how he does over the next couple of years. If he shows us as a coach that he's a difference maker, then we can keep him, and then we can extend them, and we can keep building the program, and everything is beautiful. If he shows us that he's not really a difference maker, but over the next 4, 5, 6 years, he then loads it up with talent, what we could do is, as we get a little closer to the middle to the back end of his contract and the team is stacked, you see what happened with Oregon? The Henning guy came in and actually added more talent, and he's a better coach than Cristobal. And you know what I'm saying? So you look at it and they say, okay, well, if he's not doing the job, we know he's going to recruit and he's going to load it up. So then once it's loaded up and we pay less on the back end of the contract, we can then get off of the Cristobal train and go get a guy that will now be the difference maker, since everything is built up now. He's built up the program. He's built up the recruiting, the facilities. We're paying. We've got our NIL program all set. Now let's go get the difference maker on the field. But instead of you rebuilding a program, now this thing is already built. So you have the guy in a way that can only take you to a certain extent, but let him build the foundation and then go get the next guy. So what you do is you have Renee Latchman and Ron Rothstein and Kevin Lockery take you to a certain point, and then you go get Jim Leland, and then you go get Pat Riley. Okay, again, let's use perspective and things that have gone on in the history of this town, where we've seen coaches that can only take you to a certain point, and then you go get the guy that's the difference maker. And we bring the conversation back to being the difference maker conversation that we started with earlier when we talked about it. So this is not a bad path on the business end of it if you're in administration, because kids aren't going to be getting in trouble. Your head coach is a solid human being. So everything character-wise is going to go great. He's going to have a great relationship with the kids. So he's going to be able to build it up. He's going to build up talent and stack class after class after class. And then he will have the opportunity to be on the stage to prove if you get. See, the thing about Mario is he has something that no one else has ever had in the history of the University of Miami. He has every absolute option at his disposal. Nobody has been given more resources ever than Mario Cristobal. So now you can make a complete assessment while he builds the program up. So we're still in the process of, it's kind of in cruise control. Let him keep working. Let him keep campaigning. Let him keep pushing. Let him keep talking. Let him keep loading up the class after class, because the next class coming in is awesome. Okay, and I'm not a recruiting guy or anything, but from everything I read, he's got a boatload of really high, highly regarded players coming in. So if he's going to stack that and we're going to get more Maui Goas, and so on and so forth, then let's do it, bro. Let's do it. You're going to get, more guys like that. Let's go. Stack it and stack it and stack it. And then you'll get your chance. So that's the cold, callous option that you have to look at on the business end of it. So they're not parting ways with Mario anytime soon anyway, and they shouldn't right now. You got to give him some time, bro. He's not doing anything terrible. He's doing something solid. He's doing great around the program. Is he great on the field? No, but they're 6-2. So we'll see. If they end up, I thought they were a 7-8 win team this year. They're 2 wins away from my max. So if they get to 9, it's like a hell of a season for them. But that's the brutal honesty, that he'll build it up over the next couple of years. And when he is stacked, if he doesn't prove he can get over the top, that's when they'll say, we appreciate what you've done. Thank you. Really. Thank you so much. You mean so much to us, but we need something else to get it over the top. We appreciate you, Del Harris. We got to go get Phil Jackson. Really appreciate you. Ron Rothstein, you're a hell of a defensive-minded coach. But we got to move on. So. Big O, bring in who? No, you can't answer something that's years from now. Kind of a question. I'm just telling you, that's the fork in the road that you're going to come to. There's no plans to get rid of him now. There shouldn't be. He deserves to be there. I know some of you have quit on Mario. I have not quit on Mario. But I'm just telling you that when he builds it up now, in 2 more years, okay, or maybe 3, that this year and 2 more, when he builds it up and stacks classes, and then he's got 10 and 11 wins, and he's up against elite teams, and he doesn't show up, and he's getting Dennis Erickson in the bowl games, and not the first 3 years with Jimmy's players when he took over. Okay, that he was getting embarrassed, that kind of shit. If that's happening, then it's over. They're going to say, okay, well, he got us to a point, and then you will decide 3 years from now. You know what I'm saying? But that's not going to happen for a while. If it happens, I'm not even saying it's going to happen, because Mario may turn the corner as a coach and start winning big-time games against big-time teams, and we're off and running. I hope that's what happens. Why would we want more change? But I'm just telling you, I'm just giving you the foresight of the next possibility in the next stage of this program. If Mario doesn't prove in the next couple of years that he is the ultimate difference maker on the field, not recruiting, not as a human being, not as a man, not as a father figure, not as a leader. We know he has all of that stuff. Okay. Not what we're talking about. Okay. So that's how it really breaks down. So I'm just being honest. That's kind of the way they would look at it. Hopefully it doesn't happen. The most dangerous game for any good team is playing nobody, and nobody has nothing to lose but everything to gain. So they play tough, win or lose. Canes forever. Shalom. What is Miami, bro? I forgot. What is Miami? I love the Canes, but they're nobodies. They lost to Middle Tennessee State and they lost to Georgia Tech, right? I'm not sure. You living in 2000 and in 91 or something? My brother, come back to reality. Don't make the Canes sound like they're something. They're absolute nobodies. They've done nothing. They don't go to any bowl games that matter. They win nothing, dude. Okay? So they are the dregs of college football. That's what they've been for years now, my brother. You treat Virginia like a nobody, and what the hell do you think the University of Miami is? You think they mean something nowadays? They don't accomplish anything, dude. I love how somebody tries to shit on another program when your program is shit. Freaking amazing, dude. Love that one, Shalom. That's thanks for the laugh, bro. That's fantastic. I love a Canes fan talking down any program. Listen to me. A Canes fan talking down any other program. That's funny. That's hilarious. How about not losing to FIU? That's hilarious. A Canes fan talking about another team and bringing them down. The team that doesn't know how to take a knee. Freaking hilarious. Know your place, dude. We're Canes fans. We're nothing. Absolutely jack shit. Nothing. We got nothing to stand on. We got nothing to brag about. What are we talking about? 25 years ago? 35 years ago? 45 years ago? Is that what we're talking about? That's hilarious. Canes fans have no right to talk about any program in the country. None whatsoever. You can never talk about anything until you accomplish something. Okay? Canes basketball fans, talk away. You got a real coach. You got a real program. It's one of the best programs in the country. That is, brag. Enjoy yourself. Canes football fans, shut up. Shut up. Yeah. Big O, just jumped in. In your opinion, when exactly do you believe Cristobal becomes fireable? Like I told you, like 3 years from now. It's going to happen. If it happens, that he has the team loaded, and then he's on the back end of the contract, okay? And then you can, because you're going to have to, obviously pay off. So you got to give him some time, wait till he builds it up. And like I said before, he's got to be in some of these big games where he won 10, 11 games in a season. And then you see that he's not the guy against Florida State or Georgia or Alabama or Ohio State or whatever. I don't know what's going to happen 2-3 years from now. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it's going to be. You need to rewind a little bit, and I kind of explain about what he could be successful and he stays here forever, or he can be successful recruiting, and then there's going to be a fork in the road at one point or another. And that administration has already proven that they're committed to getting coaches. So, it'll be up to him. But that's like 3 years from now. So whether you believe in him or not, okay, I have not given up on Mario. But I am not going to defend his coaching because you can't defend it. It's mediocre. Today I was proud of him. That last decision at the end was the best decision he's ever made as a coach here. To take the ball out of Van Dijk's hands, take the knee, screw the timeouts in the 30 seconds. You don't put Van Dijk in that position because he's been choking the entire game. So take your chances in overtime with your defense and your running game on a short field. Genius, smart as hell. That was a super intelligent decision on his part. That was the best coaching decision he's made so far in a season. And what is it? 8 games. They're 6-2. In a season and 8 games, that was the finest decision that Mario Cristobal has made so far as an X's and O's guy. That one right there. I had great expectations for Mario, not anymore. I kind of get it, bro. He's kind of taken, the wind out of our sails with a lot of, the Middle Tennessee State loss. The way you got manhandled, my God, that was embarrassing, bro. That was bad. JR, what up, Big O? I'm sorry, J Hawk mentioned possibly years from now. Okay, you're just repeating what I was saying. Okay. That was, it was a good move. I mean, you can't deny it, Joseph. You have to give him credit. William Quigley says, "Tell your honey to move over. I think this game gave me a bleeding ulcer." Hang in there, William. And William, of course, Cutter's Edge Pro. We love cuttersedgepro.com. So if you need landscaping, and by the way, the other thing is maintenance, because, a lot of you out there, you need a little help with your maintenance. So call my guy, William Quigley, right there. Mike's like an artist at Cutter's Edge Pro. They will take care of you. 954-472-0622. And my man William, season ticket holder to all this stuff. So he feels the pain like all of you out there. Ken says, Big O, we need to get our tight ends and running backs in the passing game. One of the best passes by TVD was a face mask being pulled, flip check down pass to Parrish for 12 yards. Yes, that was actually a nice play by TVD. That was one of the few plays that you're like, hey, man, that was nice. You were under duress and you made the play. And I agree with you. Now, the tight end part, they just don't have like the confidence in their tight ends. That's all it is, right? Because they used the other guy last year. I'm brain farting now, but they used him a lot more. And so they must not have a lot of faith in their tight ends right now, because it's the highest percentage passes for a quarterback, and especially one that's a turnover prone one like this one now, it goes to your running backs and tight ends. So Ken, you are 1,000% right that you want to get your running backs and your tight ends more involved in the passing game, because they're easier and closer decisions to the line for Tyler Van Dyke, right? And then also the tight end usually is a bigger target with a wider span too. So your accuracy doesn't necessarily have to be, pinpoint right on target. You got a wingspan, so you can reach other balls, and they're not using them. So it's a great point on your part, and they should get them more involved. And why they don't? Well, like I said, we're not impressed with their coaching. Big O, I feel that if we switch coaches today, the game is not even close. No, that's not going to happen, man. It's just not going to happen, guys. You got to let it go. Okay? You got to let it go. Kind of like Shalom's got to let it go talking down any team in the country. Canes fans are not allowed to talk bad about any team out there until we fix our home, until our home's straightened out and it's not losing embarrassing games and you're not the talk of all of college football while you're a joke and you lost to Georgia Tech. Yeah, no. When you're losing to Middle Tennessee State and you're losing to FIU, no. Yeah. Shut up. You have nothing to talk about. You know what it is? It's interesting. It's super interesting. And Mario's kind of trying to kill it all off now. He saw the disease that's been there for 20 years, and I credit him for that. A lot of the kids that have come over, they put on the U and they think they're the U already. And they didn't earn shit. And they didn't lay the groundwork like Kozar or Sapp or Ray Lewis or, whatever, dude. Patrick Crine. Okay? I don't give a shit. Rohan Marley, Maurice Crumb Crusher. Okay? The people that really laid the work to become Tolbert Bain, for you to become the you. Those people that laid it all the way into the very early 2000s, 2002 or 3, and then it was over after that. But the kids that came after that, it seemed like they put on the helmet and then they carried the swag of Michael Irving when they didn't earn it like Brett Perriman did, or Andre Johnson or Santana Moss. And then we have fans that also are still living off the past. That was decades ago. And you carry like your team is that team, and your team ain't shit compared to those teams. And it's really hilarious how the correlation between a bunch of kids that came in and didn't earn jack shit and thought that they were going to be shit. And then now we got fans that are still living off the past like there's something special. Man, come back to reality. Earn it. And that's what, at least I give Mario a lot of credit. Again, Mario, character-wise, is impeccable. Impeccable. He just has to prove one thing now, that on game day, he's a difference maker. And he hasn't proven that. Big O, I'm off the Mario bandwagon. However, I've seen great recruiters who are limited game day coaches win. See Ed Ogeron and Barry Switzer. Exactly. That's exactly it, dude. And like I told you, and he could load up the recruiting for the next 3 years. And in that time, if he doesn't prove to be a great X's and O's coach, administration will make a change. Because they're going to go, hey, we got a loaded program. We got everything set. We just need the coach. We need the difference maker. And Mario, unfortunately, great human being, yada, 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 yada. But, and that's it. But it's not going to happen now. So stop with the microwave society, all that. This guy's only been here a couple years. This is his second season. So we got to give the man time. And he deserves the time. And he's putting in the work. So let's hang in there. Okay? And by the way, go to Caneswear at 2655 South University Drive in Davie. Okay? And remember, use our code BIGO10. You will get 10% off. If you order online at caneswear.com, you can use our code BIGO10 there so you can get 10% off, or when you're there live in person in Davie. They got anything and everything with the Canes logo. They've got Dolphin stuff, Inter Miami, Marlins, Panthers. What else am I missing? Heat. Okay, they got all kinds of gear for all our local teams, man. So go check it out. Game shouldn't be this close, yeah, Tyrone, but when your coach is not a great coach, this is what happens, dude. He's going to live off of talent, bro. That's it. He's going to live off of talent. He's not going to be the reason why talent wins. He's just not. It's just not who he is, unfortunately. You know? Tony Fitzpatrick in the 84 Orange Bowl. Tony Fitzpatrick. Chalpo, what was Tom Cruise, and Big O was Jack Nicholson tonight. I know we're talking Canes, but the Finns better take care of business tomorrow. They will, bro. 2 is 5-0 against them. I think they'll win. I just don't think it'll be a blowout. I think it'll be a tight game. You know, that's all. Just like I thought this was going to be a tight game. I didn't expect the kid. When I saw the line 19, I was like, this is a joke. Who the fuck are the Canes to give, except Shalom? He probably gave that's probably what it is. Shalom probably gave the 19 points. He probably laid the 19 points. Him and Mike McCoy probably laid the 19 points. Hell, they probably teased it up to like 27 or something. They were really cocky. Yeah, no, we're going to handle them. Let's tease it up. Anyway. Does Canes wear stock Philadelphia umpire gear? Yeah, they do. They do. By the way, that tape that's out there that shows the plays that were missed, man, there were a lot of plays. It was more than I thought. Jesus Christ. But really, when you look at that Eagles game, as I told you guys earlier in the week, it didn't look as bad as we thought it was, in a way. You know, because they got so manhandled right at the end that if you look at the game, it was a lot closer. So, I think that the Dolphins, hey, man, looks like I was telling you guys early November, and it looks like Jalen Ramsey may end up playing tomorrow. So that'll be cool. All right, 11 a.m. tomorrow, we're going to be at Walk-Ons. All right, so come on out and join us. We'll have some fun out there. We shall see you all at Walk-Ons in Kendall. Enjoy the win. Enjoy the family. See you all tomorrow at one place.
If you're a Miami sports fan, there's only one store to go to, and that's Canes Wear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Canes Wear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.